It's one thing for your hairdresser to deal with split ends. It's another thing for you to overcome the thoughts in your head so that you can overcome dead ends. Let's talk today about cracking the code. I want to give you the combination lock. It's really how to be a conqueror to overcome dead ends. Let's talk about it right here today on In the How do you overcome the dead ends that are going on in your mind where it feels as if you've reached as far as you can possibly go? Nothing seems to be working. Everything seems to be in your way. It's always seems to be hurdles and hiccups and hangups and mishaps and mistakes and missteps. But there's something that's on the inside of you that can keep persevering, that can keep pushing through. And that's why we're talking today about conquering over about real conquerors who overcome dead ends. That's what we're talking about, because when we look at it, one of the things that oftentimes separates those who succeed and those who are frustrated with success or those who fail are those thoughts that are in your head. It's those ants that are in our mind. What are ants? Talking about automatic negative thought, an automatic negative thought system that you have to break so that you can crack the code. The cracking the code is not so much about what you're wearing, it's about who you're becoming. Cracking the code is not about necessarily where you're trying to go, it's about you having the mindset to remain there. Cracking the code moves you from where it is that you are to where you can be. Do you have the thoughts to actually push yourself through what you're going through? Sometimes we hit a block in the road. Sometimes we hit a fork in the road and we don't know which way to go. And that's why we've got to lean on the discernment that we have. We've got to lean on the fact that we've got history. We've already had certain obstacles. We've already faced certain battles. Now we can push through. If you're going to be that person who cracks the code, you've got to adopt the mindset of a conqueror. Too many of us, we have to even not just adopt the mindset of a conqueror, we have to adopt the mindset of more than a conqueror. And too many of us, we have deleterious thoughts. We're really stuck like Chuck in a pickup truck because we're dealing with stinking thinking that keeps us sulking and sinking. And according to research, it mentions this, that on average, we have roughly about 80,000 plus thoughts a day. And 75 to 80% of those thoughts each and every single day are negative. I have to adopt the mindset of a conqueror. I have to adopt the mindset that says, just because it's been this way doesn't mean it's going to remain that way. The combination lock for you to crack the code is what takes place in your mind. Cracking the code says, I got to get rid of the old connections, the old systems, the old way of stinking thinking, the old mindset, the old actions. And secondly, now I have to overcome. Overcome says everything is not going to be easy. Overcoming says there's going to be some battles that you're going to have to fight. There's going to be some frustrations that you have to face. You cannot fight what you refuse to face. Overcoming says it's not always what's on the outside of what it is that I have to deal with. There's some things that I have to go through and grow through on the inside. Overcoming says I'm not going to let my past stifle and stymie my future. That mindset to overcome is what the great boxer Muhammad Ali adopted. Muhammad Ali adopted the mindset. He said the canvas is no place for a champion. Doesn't mean that you won't hit the canvas. It just means that you're going to get back up. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Reason you can stand up 8 because you were already standing before you fell. Overcoming says a knockdown is not a knockout unless you stay down. And here's the thing. There are going to be some dead ends in life. Got to have the mindset to conquer. Got to have that mindset to overcome. Also have to be able to now deal with dead ends. When we get to the end of a road or we get to the end of a journey and it is a particular dead end on the street, I've never seen somebody park their car and just remain there. Here's what they're doing. They're looking for another route. They're looking for a different way out. What do you do when you hit dead end relationships? What do you do when it seems like the projects and the assignments and what it is that you're working on seem to have hit a stalemate, seem to have hit dead end street? How do you get up off your feet? How do you remain on your feet? How do you get up off your back and remain on your feet? How do you keep going through and pushing forward? Do you find an alternative route? When you hit dead end relationships, do you just say, I'm just going to be a hopeless romantic all my life? Some people do that. Heard many people say those things. But the other people say, all right, this is an opportunity for me to now work on myself. This is an opportunity now for me to find focus and develop the tenacity to keep going by any means necessary. This is a time for me to now pour into myself. I've got all the time in the world now to actually pour into my purpose. Because if you're poor, you won't remain poor. How do you deal with dead ends in your career? How do you deal with dead ends when the economic system is fickle? How do you deal with dead ends? Do you just remain where it is that you are? Or do you say, I'm going to find a different way out? No is new opportunity. And here's what I understand. If you're not dead, God isn't done. As long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. The vault door of victory for some of us has been shut. How will you crack the code? Cracking the code is saying, I got to be creative. I got to think about this thing differently. I got to do something different to get something different, or I'll still remain where it is that I am. Cracking the code says, listen, let me adopt the inventor's mind. Let me read something. Let me listen to a particular podcast. Let me study a little bit harder. Let me have the tenacity to work on this a little bit longer. Let me find a way to turn my contacts and contracts, my ideas into income. For some of us, we can crack the code when we think about things differently. Why? Because nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep looking at things the way that they are, you will remain where you are, and it will remain the way that it is. When you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. The change begins with us. The change begins by being conquerors that overcome dead ends. Let's crack the code. Let's be bold. Go after it by any means necessary. I'm going to show you how to not just only go after it, but to attain it. The transformation, the development, the peace of mind, the serenity and the sagacity, the development of who it is that you are internally and interpersonally takes place in my amazing community. You owe it to you to get into a room of gifted leaders who pour into you, who know how to pour into themselves, and because they pour into themselves, they know how to pour into you, who understand that a win for you is a win for them too. For many of us, we need to close the gap. I'm going to give you the codes for transformation, for development, for self-identity, for your purpose, so that you can be a conqueror. who overcomes dead ends. Go right now to theeaglesacademy.com, theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, I want you to fill out the form. Tap the Enroll Now button to fill out the form. Guarantee that you're going to be transformed. You owe it to you to invest in you. You owe it to you to do what it takes to crack the code so that you don't just keep sitting at a dead end. But now you're able to look at it as a new beginning. And that new beginning takes place in my amazing community. Go right now to theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the Enroll Now button, fill out the form. Guarantee that you're going to be transformed. I know you were transformed by this conversation. I want you to drop a love donation. Drop a love donation. I'm doing so much work in the community. You can help me do even more. Well, Dr. Eddie, how can I help you do more? I'm so glad that you asked. By giving. You can help me do more when you give more. On Cash App, $Dr. Eddie Ministries, on PayPal, info@EddieConnor.com, and even on Zelle, EddieConnorJr @gmail.com. I'm attacking and addressing the issues of illiteracy, food insecurity, community blight, right? We're attacking and addressing those issues head on. So I want you to just send a love donation, and your support helps me to support the community in such a greater way. I appreciate you. Links in the chat, links in the description for how and where to give. Hit that thumbs up button on the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I've been growing your greatness. Help me to grow our channel for change that creates change and that breaks chains. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below. Come on, let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below. Just type crack the code. Type crack the code. That's what we're doing. Cracking the code. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below. Family, you know I got to go, but I just want you to know, yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your main man, 100 grand, your brother. And I mean that from another mother. Family has been fun, but you know a brother got to run. So I just want you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure. But I want you to remember to keep the faith and believe it's going to be bigger, better, brighter, peace, and a whole lot of love. Keep soaring higher.